Good morning, Democrats. Welcome to the Lake County hosted How We Win Unity Rally. And as you see, I'm wearing my Riding with Biden sunglasses. So I hope you all join in with us for the next, 76 days, and wear your dark glasses and your blue. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to our Master of Ceremonies today, Gary McKechnie.
Hi there, how are you? It looks like, believe it or not, Greg Wilhelm was just calling me right when you were saying that. So hopefully Greg will be joining us soon. But this is the How We Win webinar sponsored by the Lake County Democratic Executive Committee. And the purpose of this, of course, is to promote party unity, get all of the candidates working together to encourage people to get out the vote. That's going to be key. And when we do this sort of virtual bus rally, as we did a couple of years ago after the primary, each of the candidates who won in the primary will be given 3 minutes to talk to you about who they are, to introduce themselves, what their plans are, how they plan to get out the vote. And the runners-up in the primary campaign will have 1 minute to say thank you, to share any thoughts that they may have. And I would encourage all of the candidates, all of the participants, to maybe pitch in some ideas, some creative ways that you're planning to get people out to vote, because that's going to be crucial. It's going to be key. And I think if all of us can explain how we're going to get people out to vote, it'll spark some ideas that we can incorporate to keep pushing Lake County in a blue direction. And we've invited people via Mobilize, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook to join us today. And so we'll have dozens and dozens, hopefully hundreds and hundreds of people watching us live right now. But if you do miss this, we'll be posting this recording on the Lake County Democratic Committee's Facebook channel, YouTube channel. So you'll be able to see this later on. And if you're a candidate, you might be able to cut out that snippet, that segment of yours, and put it on your own website to introduce yourself to more voters. Now, the order of the speakers will be county, state, and congressional seats. And with that in mind, we're going to begin right now by giving the runner-up in the North Lake Hospital Board, now Northwest 5 District, Khalid Sattar, a chance to introduce himself for 1 minute. Our timekeeper will be Jane Hepting. Khalid?
Okay, very good. Thank you. Good morning. First, I congratulate all the winners who won, work hard, they did, and job was not done yet. Still, the main job is to beat all the Republicans up and down the ballot, starting from the Trump to Susan Harper. Myself, it was the first time I ran for the office, and I learned a lot, and still need more guidance. I'm excited to be the part of the general election, and will be using all the resources I have to make sure we win all the races. We know Republicans have quite a bit hole, but it can be done. Our South Asian community is not too much involved, and I want them to be involved. So I'm willing to do that, to work to involve them in the election and voting. So let me know if I can be any help for anyone. Don't hesitate to reach me for any services if you need. And I'm thanking you for all opportunities you gave it to me and the time you gave it to me to learn to do this project. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you, Khalid, and I think you nailed it right there. Entering any race at any level as a first-time candidate is really quite a learning curve, and I'm proud of you, and I'm sure everyone watching this is extremely proud of you for putting your hat in the ring, and we really appreciate you trying to make a difference. Thank you. And your competitor, Melody Duckins, is applauding you right now, and now we're going to go to Melody for 3 minutes to share your thoughts with the voters and share how you think you can get people out to vote and support you. Melody?
Yes, sir, we will.
Thank you so much, Gary. And I just want to say hello to everyone and congratulations to everyone. And I truly believe that it takes courage to just get out there and campaign, whether you win or lose. It's just a matter of just having faith and going towards what you believe in going forward. And so a little bit about me. I live in Lake County. I work at Beacon College in the Career Center. I'm also a professor there. I just came back from teaching internationally about 2 years ago. I was there in China, actually. And so that was before the whole virus. And so, yes, you could say I got back just in time. I've been an educator for over 20 years. I have my master's in education and psychology and my doctorate in educational leadership. And so what got me into politics is the whole dynamics of what is going on in society right now with Black Lives Matter, with the COVID-19. And I remember distinctly watching Oprah Winfrey's Where Do We Go From Here? And I wanted to do something, but I just did not know what. And so I remember a gentleman said, vote and run. And so it was like a calling to me. And so I said, let me go and put my part into it. Something that I'm passionate about is healthcare. And so when I found out that the position was open to run with North Lake County Hospital Board Seat 5, I contacted Jane and I said, you know, I'm stepping out on faith on this because I know when it is an issue that I'm passionate about, I'm going to give my all. And so being uninsured, I remember being uninsured and I remember how scared I was being a single mom and I didn't have insurance. And I prayed every day that I wouldn't get hurt. So because I understand the perspective of a person uninsured, just invokes that need for me to want to help. Because I know that there are so many people that are out of work and the whole idea of one check away from being uninsured or one check away from poverty, I have been there. And so I not only can know what the issue is, I have experienced the issue. And so that's why I want to serve.
You have
just
30
because
seconds. About
You
30
have 30
seconds.
seconds.
I believe that the best way to get people out to vote is for all of us to come on a central matter that means the most to everybody. Come together. Right now, Pam and I are putting forums together for health care and mental health issues. If all of the Democrats came together, no matter if you're running for city commissioner, county commissioner, and come together to help support a central matter, then that will bring more people to recognize you, acknowledge you, and tie that into register to vote. It is our right. Women, we stand on the shoulders of women who have fought and died for our right to vote. Blacks, we have fought and died for our right to vote. Get out there and register to vote.
Thank you very much, Melody. That's very inspiring. And what is not lost on me is this week was the centennial week of women, the ratification of the 19th Amendment. And I was thinking, had Hillary been in the White House, this entire year would have been a celebration of women voting. With the current situation, it seemed to go by virtually unnoticed. But with that in mind, women do need to vote. Everyone needs to vote, women especially. I'd love to see more women in office. Now we're going to go to Pam Jennelle, who was the nominee for the North Lake Hospital District Northeast 1. Pam, you have 3 minutes to introduce yourself to the voters and let them know where you stand.
Okay, well, good morning. I'm super excited to be here. And Melody, you know I love you, but you're a really hard act to follow. So congratulations to all of our nominees. I am thrilled to be voting blue from the bottom of the ticket where I'll be sitting with Melanie to the very top where we're going to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. But in between, there's a ballot full of candidates who are working really hard right now to claim victory on November 3rd. So we're not just riding with Biden, but also our water authority candidates, hi Susan, our municipal candidates, state reps and US reps, and I'm dreaming of the day that we turn this county blue. And we're the ones who are gonna make it happen. And so my plan to make that happen is to, in every interaction that I have, I want to reflect my dedication to equality, justice, and our dedication to each other. If we all do that, if we all vote blue in November, it's ours, and there will be, and I'll see you there. Thanks.
Thank you, Pam. A quick question. What would your key message be to voters who think, well, we can sit this one out? How important is this election, whether on a local basis or a national basis?
Well, I think it's quite obvious on the national basis. It becomes more obvious every single day with every mistruth that is spoken from the White House. On this very local race in the hospital district, I think it's important for people to know that this district protects the residents of the district who need that protection most. Like Melody said, if you're uninsured, it's a scary time to be uninsured. And this district provides a bit of a safety net. It's not a complete safety net, but it is way better than nothing. And that way better than nothing really needs to be protected right now. There are people who would shut this district down, and we don't want that.
Pam, thank you very much. And thank you very much for running, for putting your hat in the ring and putting the time and effort into making a difference. Next up, we're going to switch to the nominee for the Lake County Water Authority District 3. And that is Susan Fetter. Now, Susan will be followed by Guy Meadows if he'll be joining us. And then we'll be going to, let me look at my notes, to Dee Melvin. But right now, I'd like to introduce Susan Fetter, who I met 2 years ago when I was running for office, and Susan was running for the Water Authority. And hopefully this time's the winning ticket. So Susan, please take it away.
Sure, thanks, Gary. I want to start real quick by saying, in case you're not familiar with what the Water Authority is, it is an environmental agency here in Lake County. It's not related to your water bill. It's not related to the work the St. Johns River Water Management District does in the Harris chain of lakes for things like water levels. It is an environmental agency tasked with maintaining the water quality here in Lake County and our freshwater lakes. These freshwater lakes are such an economic driver for us. They attract tourists such as the triathlons that come to Claremont and the bass tournaments that come to the Harris chain of lakes. So it's really important that we maintain the water quality of these lakes to the best of our ability. So I'm running for Water Authority because I'm really passionate about this agency. It is an efficient machine that makes such a good use of your minimal tax contribution. Most people in Lake County pay around $25 a year for the services the Water Authority provides, and I am happy to be on this board and continue to provide these services. For example, our chain of lakes is connected to Lake Apopka. And Lake Apopka, all the water in this section of the state flows north. So all the water from the Green Swamp and Lake Apopka is heading up north, eventually into the St. Johns River, eventually Jacksonville, and eventually out. But below us in the south is Lake Apopka, and it's pretty polluted from years and years of agricultural activity. And the Water Authority takes your $25 and captures the water from Lake Apopka, treats it for pollutants, and releases it back into Lake Beauclair. So right there, that is one of the main things that keeps the bass tournaments coming in and keeps your waterfront homes sparkly clean. So my qualifications for Water Authority start from being an 8-year-old. I hope you guys can all see this. I went to Fruitland Park Elementary School, and when I was about 8 years old, I caught 8-pound bass in Lake Griffin. It was one of my funnest events of my life. So I've been on these lakes, and I have experienced what they can provide to us as far as recreation and family enjoyment, and I want to continue that. I had a career in high tech after that, after I was 8. And in that career, I learned a lot about negotiation and dealing with priorities between
30 seconds.
Groups that have very different goals. And that happens all the time when you start talking about environmental issues. And most recently, I've served on the Soil and Water Conservation District, where we run the mobile irrigation lab, which saves amazing amounts of nitrogen from going into our environment. So I'm Susan Fetter. I'm running for Lake County Water Authority, and I'll leave you with the message that it's all about the nitrogen, and my Florida Master Naturalist background helps me understand the environment and how the nitrogen affects it.
Great. Susan, thank you very much. And just a quick note, a candidates forum featuring the 3 of the Democratic candidates for the Lake County Water Authority is now online at the Lake Democrats YouTube channel. So if you go to lakedemocrats.com, there should be a link there where you can see Susan, Guy Meadows, and Tammy Morales talking about these issues in an hour-long forum, and that's well worth it. One other quick note, a few years ago on the campaign trail, I would constantly see Susan Fetter and Jeremy Norton, who were running for the Lake County Water Authority. They were at every event. They spoke with precision and knowledge about this issue. Never in the several months that we were on the campaign trail did we see the Republican opponents at any of these forums. The Republican opponents won. It was just almost a given that they would win. It's an uphill battle, and that's why we have to get people out to vote, for people with knowledge, people who are committed, and people who are dedicated to the task and not just trying to hold a seat that they didn't earn. Okay, editorial's over.
Thanks, Gary.
Okay.
And I want to make one little tiny quick point is that there's
Sure.
3 of us running for water authority, and everyone in the county can vote for all 3 of us. We're 3 different seats, so you can have 3 Democrats on the water authority.
Wonderful. That's and so that's the goal that we're all going to shoot for. I don't see Guy Meadows on this on my screen, so I assume he is not here, and nor do I see Tammy Morales.
I believe they are both out of town today, unfortunately.
Okay, and so we are going to move now to the nominee for state representative in District 32, and that is Dee Melvin, who is right down there. Hello, Dee. And if you can unmute your microphone.
Oh, sure.
I was so prepared for that.
Okay.
Thank you, Gary, so much. As Gary said, my name is Dee Melvin, but I will be on the ballot as Mamie Dee Melvin, and I'm actually running, Gary, for Florida House District 33.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Okay, I just want to make sure everybody knew that. I'm retired Air Force. I did 15 years on active duty in the Air Force and 17 years in the reserves. My husband is retired Air Force. We've been married for 43 years next month, believe it or not. But today I'd like you to imagine a state where we unite to leave a clean environment for our future generations, where public education and healthcare are priorities, where we are all treated equally under the law, no matter where we come from, how much money we make, our gender, the color of our skins, who we love, or our religion. We would all be treated equally. Imagine a state where we all have an equal opportunity to achieve our goals and live our lives free of discrimination. This is why I'm running for Florida House District 33. These values are so important to me. I finally just made this choice to do it. But for this to happen, we have to work for it. As a matter of fact, we're going to have to fight for it. It's not going to be easy. Now, I feel certain that most of us on this call share some version of this vision. But in order for it to come true, we're going to have to unite and support those who have answered the call to serve. We must find our candidates, rally around them, support them, and volunteer to help in whatever ways we can. Because we all know there is so much work to do. So I encourage all of you today to have a conversation with your candidates. Trust me, we want to talk with you. Ask us what we need, and then step up to volunteer your most precious commodities. That would be your time, your energy, and your commitment. I know everybody on this call has so much work to do. Our campaign, we're doing town halls. I plan on us writing at least 7,000 handwritten postcards. We will reach out to Democrats, no party affiliated, and Republican voters, because we need all of those voters. And I know that Lake County isn't planning to do a literature drop, but in my other counties, I do plan on doing that. And on our lit drops, we'll have my information, Dana's information, Joe Biden's information, and anybody else who happens to be running in that area.
Time.
Oh,
Time?
Dee, if you would like to have a closing statement, we have just enough time for you to share your thoughts.
Okay, great. So together, I know that we can make this vision for Florida a reality if we will just unite around our candidates and volunteer to do the necessary work to win. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dee. And I really appreciate you running. People are applauding you, and justifiably so. These are tough races to get in, and as we've learned from Susan, as we've learned from Dee, it is an uphill battle in this area, but we wouldn't have a chance at all if we weren't in the arena, and every one of you is in the arena. Now we're going to move to the State House District 32 race, where we have joining us today Linda Kero and Stephanie Dukes, and Linda will speak first. Now this is probably one of the most important races because the current holder of this seat is a demagogue. He's a dangerous little fella, and he knows it. So it's going to take all hands on deck to defeat this guy because he's not in it for the people, he's in it for himself. And again, a little bit of an editorial, but I think if you look at his record, you'll see that exactly. Linda, if you'd like to share your thoughts with your supporters and why you got into this race and what you got out of it, that would be wonderful.
Thank you, Gary. I got an awful lot out of joining this race. I really feel a sense of growth, for personal growth for myself, but I got in the race to help to do the most that I could in one fell swoop, to spend my hours and get the most positive results from that. As you stated, the person that is currently the incumbent is a bad apple, to say the very least. And we will need as much help from all the Democrats as possible in order to win against him. He has a war chest that's full and stocked and ready to go. And there's a lot that we need to do in order to reach all the Democratic voters and all the NPAs. And I'm pretty sure, based on the contacts that I made, there are quite a few Republicans that are available to us if we can get the message out to them properly. And Stephanie, I look forward to helping in every way that I can, because you're the people's choice and I still want to beat this guy. So if I can be part of that, I'm gonna continue to grow and have my self-worth greatened, because I'll be part of the solution. And I look forward to serving in your campaign in any way that I can. So I would ask all of you to please support Stephanie in every way that you can. Financially is very important. She's going to need to get a lot of postcards out. We know that sort of thing isn't inexpensive, and there are letters to write and signs to make, and there's just a lot to do. And so if you can please dig down. I know that this is a time when we're trying to spread our finances across a pretty good sized board, but this is a very important race. So I would ask everyone who supported me, please financially support Stephanie's campaign, and I'll be right behind her, pushing as hard as I can.
Linda, thank you very much. I think you epitomize a gracious candidate. We may have different ways to get there, but we're all heading in the same direction. And what you said was very inspiring, and I hope everyone who watches this takes that to heart and practices that. Now, Stephanie, I've not met you, but I'd like to learn a little bit more about you, and I'm sure the voters would like to learn more about you and how you plan to win.
Thank you very much. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Linda, you've touched my heart. You have me over here trying to fight back tears.
Oh, you're going to make me cry.
I want to thank everyone. I'm going to try to share my screen here with you. Move out of the way. Let's see which way I've got to move. There we go. I want to say thank you first to Linda and Ryan. You both have been very inspirational, and we pulled together a good group of Democrats. We were able to touch everyone. I'm dedicated to education. Oh, it's going faster than I wanted to go. But I'm dedicated to education. I'm dedicated to school safety. As you see, when we talk about safe gun laws, unemployment, doing something our current person has not done anything for our district, for our unemployed, about keeping us healthy. Talking about the mask is not healthy. That is not good for us. We need someone accountable to the people, who listen to the people, who are there for the people. Susan talked about the environment. Our state people have got to stay with the environment. We have got to support what is an economic maker for our community, as well as what our community enjoys. I want you to hear this one, if I can get it to play. It may not play for you, but when we talk about what we're going to do, because I'm showing this in the background, you cannot hear the volume, but it's Obama talking at John Lewis's funeral about how are we going to get the people to the polls. John Lewis has made the sacrifice. He's made it available for everyone. No one has an excuse not to make it to the polls. So President Obama is challenging us to do just that, use our rights to vote. And how does my team, including Linda and everyone within the Democratic Party, how are we going to win? We're going to win by getting people, we used to say, to the polls. Now what we have to say is we have to get to the people. Chasing the absentee ballots, encouraging our people to register to receive the vote by mail ballot is crucial.
30 seconds.
Thank you. And then the next thing we must do is chase those ballots and have them turned in early so that we can cure any wrong that is done to them. So that is how we must do in this new age of getting out the vote. Our new normal is going to be our normal, and we are going to be able to win in this new environment. Thank you.
Stephanie, thank you very much. Clap, 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 clap.
And that video can be seen on my website in its entirety.
Thanks, Stephanie. And just a note to everyone watching and everyone watching later on YouTube, we'll have all of the candidates' websites and links at the lakedemocrats.com site. So you'll be able to find it. If you just go to that central site, you'll be able to branch off to every other candidate. Now, our next guest is probably one of the most dedicated campaigners I've ever met. Again, going back to when I ran for office, I would see her on the campaign trail, always well prepared, always passionate, always a joy to listen to because she was so determined. And she came up short this time, but it's always a treat to see our friend Debra Kaplan. So Deb, if you're here, if you'd like to introduce yourself to the voters, you've got about a minute to speak.
Okay, am I unmuted?
Yes, you are.
Okay, let me try and unmute myself.
You are. Okay, she's now doing the silent movie version of her campaign address.
Now you need to unmute yourself, Deborah. You were unmuted.
Muting. Okay. All right. Okay. First of all, I want to congratulate all the winners. You know, it's not easy to run. I've done it twice. Will not be doing it again. But I congratulate all the winners. And I did come up short, unfortunately. But I urge the Democrats to back all of the candidates, particularly top of the ticket, and get out the vote. This is not a time to be sitting on your couch eating your bag of Cheetos and swearing at Donald Trump and other Republicans at the screen. I know it's a pandemic, but there's other ways you can serve: writing postcards, making calls, and also donating money to those who need it. And I urge support for everybody. And thank you very much for those who worked very hard for me and supported me. I am very appreciative of your efforts, and I'll be out there, and my future role will be announced by Clint Curtis. I'm not going to give you too much, but I am going to be active in this this campaign cycle, but I'll let Clint tell you about that.
Great. Debra, thank you very much. And if those of you who are watching have not read Teddy Roosevelt's speech about being in the arena, the man in the arena. It's well worth reading. No matter if you win or lose, as long as you're that person in the arena who's trying. That's the important thing. And Debra, you've tried, I've tried, and thousands of candidates have. And it's the fact that we're out there trying to make a difference. And if we don't succeed at what we started, we find another way to contribute as public servants. And that's what you're doing. That's what Linda's doing, Pam Jennelle's doing, every one of us here is doing, and every one of us watching at home, because we're all in the arena in some capacity. The person who won that primary race, Crissy Stile, I don't believe she is with us. And now we're moving to the U.S. House seat for District 15. One of the runners up, Jesse Phillips, I don't see him on our screen, but I do see Adam Hattersley, who is also a runner up in that race. And Adam, if you'd like to introduce yourself, you've got about a minute to say hello, thank your supporters, and let us know how we can help win these races.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Gary. I am State Representative Adam Hattersley from House District 59. The Florida 15th goes from northeastern Hillsborough County through Polk County all the way up into Claremont and southern Lake County. I just want to say thank you to everybody who supported me during this campaign and during the last successful campaign in 2018. And just to echo some others, I cannot stress enough how important it is to make sure we vote blue the entire ballot. This district, the Florida 15th, is one of the key districts in the entire United States to help get Joe Biden elected to the White House. It is up to us right here locally to make that happen. All of these state house races that you've been talking about, especially 32, are critical to how we live our lives here in Florida. So make sure everybody votes blue. Thank you again for everyone who supported my campaign, and Gary and everyone in Lake County. Let's keep this up all the way through November.
Wonderful. Hey, thank you very much, Adam. And I apologize for any errors on my notes if I'm misstating a seat. This came from WikiLeaks, and I hadn't vetted it yet, so things could be a little bit off. Next, we're going to hear from Alan Cohn. Cohn or Cohn? Is Alan here?
Yeah, Alan is here. Alan.
There we go. And hopefully I pronounced your last name correctly one time or the other.
All right, Alan Cohn, and thank you, and good morning to everyone. And I want to thank Adam for being here this morning. You know, we had a great, vigorous primary debate, but what was not debated was our underlying values, and that's why we're going to win. As Adam often said, a rising tide lifts all boats, and that really is what Democrats believe and think, and why we're going to win, because when it gets down to the essential issues, Democrats believe that we need to do everything we can to build an economy that works for hardworking middle class and working families. That should not be a partisan issue. There will be plenty of partisan issues that we're going to debate with the Republicans this fall, but being able to afford health care, so families, Republican, Democrat, or independent, don't go bankrupt by going to the doctor, that's not a partisan issue. Hoping that there is not chaos because people are losing their jobs because of the pandemic, that's not a partisan issue. Basic human decency should not be a partisan issue. And these are the issues that are going to bring not only Democrats, but some Republicans and independents together, and it's the reason why we're going to be able to win this race, and also have the candidates running for state senate, state representative, and county commission, and every race out there. It's the distinctions that why we're going to do well. You know, there was an incredible article that came out in Newsweek magazine just yesterday, basically saying that these races in Central Florida, the I-4 corridor and this congressional district, are some of the most important races in the entire country, because we have no idea what to expect from this president after this election. And should the election go to Congress, if there is that kind of chaos, that the way that the Congress works is by the majority of every state's congressional delegation. And if we flip this seat and this seat would make the majority of congressional representatives in Florida Democrat, we could fend off any kind of hanky-panky that the Republicans might force upon us. You know, as we often said during this race, it is Democrats cannot win the White House without Florida. And you cannot win Florida without the I-4 corridor that goes from Hillsborough County to Lake County and to Orlando. This is the key to not only the presidential election, but the better we do in this race, the better that all the candidates up and down the ballot, including Joe Biden, does. So, you know, the time for the debate within the party is over. And as I often say, it is time for all of us to lock arms and march together forward and not backward, to together work for a better, fairer, and more prosperous economy for all of us. And I am looking forward to working with each and every one of you, and early and often. And I look forward to winning in November and restoring dignity and ethics to the United States Congress from the representative from the 15th Congressional District.
Wonderful, Alan. Thank you very much for that. And good luck, and we'll all be behind you as well as every other candidate. You can rest assured of that. I'm going to go backward in time for just a little bit. Crissy Stile, who is the nominee for the state representative in District 31, has just joined us, apparently from, it's either her bedroom or where you keep all your books, or could it be your bookstore?
Shout out to Gary.
Yeah. So Crissy, if you'd like to introduce yourself, you have about 3 minutes to talk to the voters about who you are, what you intend to accomplish, and how you could use their support.
Absolutely. Thanks, Gary. So yeah, I'm Crissy Stile, running for State House District 31. And certainly congratulations to all of the winners in the primary. And thank you to all of those who ran. This is my second time running for office. I'm currently a Mount Dora City Council member. And so, you know, in addition to running in the primary, I know what it's like to run a campaign, and it's daunting. It'll tug your emotions from up to down and sideways and back again. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's put in the time, and win or lose. So also about me, I do own a bookstore, live in Mount Dora. I've had my bookstore for our 9th anniversary is actually next week. But my reason for running for State House is really due to our lack of representation. So most of you probably know our current representative is Jennifer Sullivan. Well, she has allegedly been living in Texas for some time now. So I'm not sure how she's okay with still collecting her paycheck from our state, but that's neither here nor there. But I've proven myself as a Mount Dora City Council member. You can ask anybody, I'm confident, who lives in Mount Dora, that they know where I am, they know how to find me, they know that I'm going to help them. And I'll do the same thing at the state level. I've done it through my campaign for the primary so far. And as far as the purpose of this call with volunteering, get out there and help whoever you can. I can certainly use your help. You can go to my website, which is ChrissyForFlorida.com, and sign up to volunteer. And it's everything from phone calls to texting to waving signs on the street and everything in between. So we can certainly use your help. But something I wanted to point out that I think is really, really important, especially for this election, is Election Day is November 3rd. But I think the date we need to focus on is October 1st, because the majority of people are going to be voting by mail. And if we don't get our message out by the end of September, we are going to miss the boat. I think that happened to people during the primary, not specifically talking about Lake County or anybody in particular, but I think people forget about that timeline. And so we're shooting for October 1st to have every single voter know who I am and know what I'm running for. The other important thing I would think, particularly for the state positions and down, is to inform the voters exactly what we do for your position. A ton of people come in my store to talk to me and say, what does a state representative even do? Or, you know, more specifically for the hospital board and the water board, like Susan said, it's like, what is the water authority? What do you even do? You know, they just assume that you drink a lot of water. So I think it's really important to inform people of what you do and how important your position is and how it affects their lives specifically. So, and also just one other thing is, I know this is Lake County, but my district covers Orange County as well. Not all of Orange County, but Zellwood and Apopka. So if there's anybody you could reach out to in Zellwood and Apopka and let them know that voting for Crissy is a good thing, I would certainly appreciate all of your help. And again, congratulations to everybody, and I'm always here to help as well.
Great. Crissy, thank you very much. And as I've said several times, this is an uphill battle in this area in particular. If you drive around it, you'll notice vandals have put up a bunch of Trump-Pence signs. So, you know, that's what we're up against. And one who's going to be facing that challenge is our next guest, Dana Cottrell, who's running for the U.S. House District 11 against Daniel Webster. And Dana, you know the drill. If you'd like to take it away and say hello, and you've got 3 minutes to chat with these folks. No, we can't hear you, Dana. Would you like us to come back to you, or is it just a microphone problem? Here
there
we go.
All right, I forgot to hit the unmute. Very important.
There we go.
Thank you to Gary, to Nancy, to Jane, the constituents of Lake County, and all of my fellow people running for office. I salute all of you. This is not a process that is easy, but it is one that we know that is near and dear to our hearts. Very, very important for the future of our country. So my name is Dana Cottrell, and I'm running for the U.S. House of Representatives for District 11. In November, we will vote for a member of our community to represent us to the United States House of Representatives. I am the best candidate for this position. I've lived in Hernando County for the past 32 years. I've worked as a teacher for the past 27 years, both in Hernando County and for the Department of Defense on military bases abroad in South Korea and Germany. And as a member of our middle class, I understand the needs of our community while having a distinct appreciation of where we are and how we can grow to our greatest potential. My undergraduate degree is in social studies education, and my graduate degree is in library and information science, both from the University of South Florida. I have chosen a career of public service, and I plan to continue that career by serving the constituents of District 11. My voting record will be one that commits to helping all with a focus on employment, wages, education, healthcare, the environment, social justice, equality, and veterans issues. My stances are in direct opposition to the voting record of our current incumbent, Daniel Webster, a Washington insider who has been in the swamp for the past 44 years. Daniel Webster consistently votes against civil rights and liberties, women's rights, environmental protection, funding for social programs, funding for education, and funding for senior services. And this can be verified by checking his voting record at votesmart.org. For the 2020 campaign, we have chosen the slogan of Dana Dares. And we dare you to get involved. We dare you to vote. We dare you to join us on this journey, to vote for a change in leadership from the top to the bottom, from the Biden-Harris ticket to the hospital and water boards, to lead our country on a path that is inclusive of all, that provides opportunity for all. We ask you to join us in voting for an American vision where every American is afforded the rights guaranteed in the Constitution of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Because when we dare, the future is ours. I ask you to join us and vote for a change in leadership, a leadership that puts the interest of the American people first and foremost. Thank you all for being active members of your democracy and for voting, because voting is integral to maintaining and sustaining our democracy, because your vote is your voice is your vote. Thank you very much for joining us today. Visit us at dana2020.com for more information on our candidacy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dana. And I'm really glad you unmuted your microphone because that was worth hearing. And now we're down to our final two guests, and they were both campaigning for U.S. House District 6. The runner-up is here with us today. That's Richard Thripp. So Richard, if you'd like to say hello, you have a minute to say thank you to your supporters and any other thoughts you'd like to share.
Oh, yes. Hello, everybody. I want to thank everyone who took a chance on me. As some of you know, I'm a former Republican, and, you know, I think we're going to see a lot more of those in this election season. We ran a good campaign. We got a lot of engagement. I didn't know we were going to lose. I thought we were ahead, but we didn't have any real polling, and there was no real money spent on this race compared to what you'd usually see. So we got, 28,600 votes. Mr. Curtis got 30,400. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of, I think that's a little more than 2018. And so I think that we're going to work with Mr. Curtis. He doesn't have NGP van, so we're going to try to transfer that over to him. And I'm meeting with him tomorrow. And I think that he's going to have to do a little bit more. I talked with Nancy Soderberg, and she said, Richard, I know the pain of losing, and you did your best, and you're in the arena now. So keep it up. And so that's what we're going to do. And we're going to take a little breather between now and when we decide to do that. Thank you, everyone.
Richard, thank you very much for running and for those words and your offers of assistance to the gentleman who came out on top in the primary, and that is Clint Curtis. And it looks like Clint is here, and the microphone is yours, sir.
Hello, everyone. My name is Clint Curtis. I'm your candidate for U.S. Congress in District 6. I'd like to thank everyone that supported me through the primary. It was a very close race. I think everyone should give Mr. Thripp a round of applause for the effort he put in and the number of votes he's acquired. I don't know about you, but I was impressed. Since the primary results became final, Mr. Thripp and I have been in contact, and we'll be sitting down tomorrow to see if we can work together on defeating Mike Waltz in November. I'll also be working with any other candidates across the district to help them as much as I can. Together, we can turn the whole district and Florida bright blue. Debra Kaplan has been generous enough to accept a position as the campaign coordinator for Lake County. Her experience and her intelligence will be invaluable in developing the excitement we need to throw Waltz out. Right now, I need as many volunteers and donations as we could possibly get. With the pandemic, I did not request donations or volunteers. As hard a time as people were having, I could not in good conscience ask people to help pay for the primary expenses or risk their health by doing door-to-door canvassing. We still had quite a few people that stepped up and contributed without being asked, and volunteers that made phone calls because in-person contact was not a responsible action. Those are very special people, and I want to put a special thanks out to the people who did that. In order to win this race, we will not need millions of dollars. We hope to win this by pushing the registered voter totals to surpass the Republicans, but the pandemic has prevented the expungement and voter registration events from occurring. We need to raise about $250,000 to get sufficient exposure to the media. Since my resume matches up well against Mr. Waltz, we should be able to beat him on every position he used in his victory in 2018. This will be vital in producing a ground game that will move enough MPAs in our direction. Since Mr. Waltz has essentially done nothing during his time in office, it should be possible to accentuate that as a congressman, he is worthless. When we garner enough votes to win this congressional race, we can also have enough votes to ensure that Mr. Biden is the next president of the United States. We only have a few short weeks to accomplish this task. Now is the time to dig deep and show the world what we are made of. With your help, and only with your help, we will be able to make incompetent Trump and worthless Waltz one-turn bumps in America's road. I'm Clint Curtis. I'm the District 6 congressional candidate. If you'd like to help, please visit my website at clintcurtisforcongress.com. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Curtis. And that is absolutely true. This is, as you've heard, if you've been watching the convention, this is the most consequential election of our lifetimes. It's a difference between democracy and neo-fascism, an autocracy. So all hands have to be on deck. We all have to do everything we can. I would encourage all of the candidates and everyone watching to discuss among your friends and family and start to radiate outside of that, having people put a plan together to vote. There's going to be voter suppression. There's going to be voter intimidation. There's going to be different methods where the other side is going to cheat to win. That's all they've got left is cheating to win. And it's really sad that we even have to think about that. So put a plan together to vote. Make sure that you check with the supervisor of elections that your signature is up to date, that you're registered to vote, that you know where your polling station is. I'd also like to suggest that everyone go to lakedemocrats.com where you'll find links to a new expanded social media presence for the Lake County Democrats. on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Instagram. You can contribute there. If you see a post that you like or something that you'd like to share, share it, spread it around, get the word out. You got to get people off the sidelines to work. As we wrap up, I'd like to compliment every one of you that I can see on the screen right now. All of you got involved because you wanted to make a difference. You wanted to change things and you thought you were the person to do it. And that is impressive. That is absolutely impressive that all of you chose to do that. It takes guts and it takes courage, and I really appreciate that. So if I had a hat, I'd take it off to you. Right now, I'm going to take my hat off to the people who put this together. Jane Hepting, who was our timekeeper, Greg Wilhelm, who coordinated the candidates' appearances, and to Nancy Hurlburt, the director of the Lake County Democratic Party. My name's Gary McKechnie. I want to thank everyone. Please share these videos, let them know about the candidates that you've seen today, you've met today, and I wish you all very, very well in the election. Bye-bye.